This month, New Tech Press goes to Scotland, land of kilts, scotch, bagpipes, haggis, and some of the most innovative technology you've ever seen. This report looks at...
This is Lou Covey, editorial director of New Tech Press, continuing with our series of interviews of technology innovators. Today we're meeting with Allan Currie, the director of electronics for Scottish Development International. Allan, Scotland has long been known in the Silicon Valley area as a center for semiconductor innovation and manufacturing. But the roster of companies that we've been talking to here, they go far beyond just semiconductors and far beyond even electronics. So do you see any particular area of technology in Scotland that has particular potential or great potential, or is it more varied than it's ever been before?
Lou, it's absolutely more varied than it's ever been before. I mean, we have a long history, as you said, of manufacturing in this country, and as early as the 50s and the 60s, we had primarily from US manufacturers investment in Scotland, and with the likes of NCR in the 50s and IBM in the 60s, and more recently with the likes of Motorola and National Semiconductor in semiconductor manufacturing. And these companies are still here, but their business models have changed significantly. Now, layered on top of that, you have what we could call a legacy expertise that's begun to develop, and that's where you have that broad range of expertise, and that's why you have a number of innovative companies that you have today that have been sort of spun from those earlier days where manufacturing was king.
Okay, so Allan, ostensibly the issue that we're dealing with here is encouraging U.S. investment from the venture community in the United States into Scottish technology at this particular point. But one of the big barriers for U.S. investors for Eurotech companies is the perceived unwillingness to locate sales offices of any kind in the United States. But based on what I'm hearing now, that's an improper perception. Do you see Scotland moving toward what is known as the Israeli model, where they put sales and marketing offices in the U.S. specifically to encourage that involvement of U.S. investors?
Yeah, the perception is absolutely all wrong. I mean, Scottish Development International has a twofold remit to attract foreign direct investment to Scotland and to help Scottish companies develop their businesses overseas, and to support that we have a number of offices located all around the world, primarily in the US, in Boston, in San Jose, and in the Central Belt as well, in Houston, and we have incubator facilities there that help Scottish-based companies expand into these markets and set up. They're basically their first steps into whichever market that they're targeting, and we find that it's a very successful program. And as I said, it's a worldwide initiative, and we find that Scottish companies, especially the technology companies, are more than keen to set up in the markets that they're targeting, and they know it's actually an imperative that they do.
So what you're saying is that Scotland's already made a significant investment in infrastructure in the Silicon Valley directly.
Huge investment in infrastructure worldwide, but in particular we recognise that Silicon Valley is one of the most important regions for our technology companies, and that they have to be engaged there. And as I said, we provide that facility for them to set up in an incubator.
Well, let me ask you the tough questions, because there's a lot of investors in Europe. And a lot of investors here in Scotland, they've made a significant investment in these companies. Why are you looking now to Silicon Valley investment?
I think we recognise that although we have a long history in Scotland of innovation, and our academic institutions and our companies have a global reputation for innovation and creativity, we recognise that there are a number of barriers that companies have to prevent them from growing. Not least the barrier that is access to early stage finance. Therefore, we've got a number of initiatives that we have to support that now. Silicon Valley is recognised again as being a hotbed of innovation. There's a larger venture fund pot, if you like, there, and we think that it's an area that Scottish companies really have to get out there and present what they're all about. You know, present their technologies. We believe that there are some wonderful companies here, and that if they get in front of that VC community, then I'm sure they'll be extremely impressed with the sort of technology, the creativity and the innovation that these companies are demonstrating.
We're in a pretty tough economic time right now, all over the world. Do you think any particular area can be an island unto itself, or do you think that we really need to start cooperating more?
I would pretty much guarantee that no particular area can be an island in itself. It's
Speaking from a country that's on an island.
Yes, we're about 1/3 of this island of Earth in the UK. No, we can't. Scotland historically has never been able to, it wouldn't function on its own. It's all about these collaborative ventures, it's all about working together. It's the same for Scottish companies here. We find there's a real thirst, if you like, or desire to expand business overseas, because we have a small market in Scotland, a small indigenous market, slightly larger market in the UK, but we're members of a huge European market, which is attractive to foreign inward investors. And we certainly have to ensure that these companies are engaged in partnerships globally to enable them to expand their business. It's critical that they do so.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Allan. This has been Lou Covey with New Tech Press in Edinburgh, Scotland. This New Tech Press report has been brought to you by Scottish Development International and ITI Tech Media and DMB Associates of Scottsdale, Arizona.